Hey guys, it's Ryan here from Explained, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we'll be watching a movie called Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, which was released back in 2014. Let's get started. Turn on the subtitles and spoilers ahead. Almost a decade has passed since the outbreak of the ALZ-113 virus, an Alzheimer's trial drug which was tested out on chimpanzees, which is now spread all across the globe. The chimpanzees used in the test escaped out of the lab after showing aggressive behavior. While the ape population has thrived and grown, the human population has taken a serious hit by the spread of the virus, with a survival rate of 1 in 500 people. The human race has started to fight amongst themselves, and most of the governments in the world have stopped functioning, further adding to the chaos. The ape's race, on the other hand, has become more intelligent and powerful. Caesar, the leader of the apes, is in the woods with his fellow simians, organizing a hunt. His lieutenant, Koba, keeps an eye out and alerts Caesar when a herd of deer comes through the forest. Caesar signals for the attack, and all the apes run after the herd of deer, managing to catch a few of them. Caesar's son, Blue Eyes, moves forward to kill a wounded deer, but instead gets attacked by a wild bear. Caesar jumps in to help his son, but he's not strong enough to take down a bear all by himself. He signals for help, which gets to Koba. As Caesar gets the bear distracted, Koba jumps in and takes the bear down with his spear. Caesar laughs and thanks Koba for his help. The apes return to their sanctuary in the Muir Woods. They have established a close community of apes which has homes and even an educational system led by Caesar's trusted orangutan friend Maurice. After their arrival, Caesar gets called to tend to his sick wife Cornelia, who has just given birth to a baby boy. Caesar brings Blue Eyes forth to meet his new brother. Afterwards, Caesar and Maurice have a conversation, reminiscing how far they have come as a group of evolved chimpanzees over the years. They wonder if there are any humans left in the world. Caesar stresses that only staying together will help them survive, unlike humans who started to fight amongst themselves. While returning from a fishing trip, Blue Eyes and his friend Ash encounter a human named Carver walking through the woods. Carver defensively draws his gun out and nervously shoots Ash. The gunshot alerts the apes as well as the humans that Carver is traveling with. In a matter of seconds, the humans get confronted by a group of angry apes. Malcolm, the group leader of the humans, realizes that these aren't ordinary apes. He knows that these are the apes who have evolved due to the simian flu. Knowing they'll understand his language, Malcolm says they don't mean any harm. He asks his group to lower their weapons to show that they don't want any fight. Caesar shouts at them to leave the forest. All while running away from the apes, Malcolm's son Alex drops his bag and is forced to leave it behind. Caesar commands Koba to follow the humans and see what they're up to. Koba, along with a few other apes, follow the humans to San Francisco. Malcolm and the humans return to their sanctuary and report to their leader Dreyfus on the group of apes and their ability to speak. Since the breakout of the virus, remaining immune humans have been living in a closed community, which has been struggling to survive with limited energy and resources. Meanwhile, Koba and his friends see all of this and report it back to Caesar. The apes start to believe that the humans are a threat to them, so they should attack them before it gets too late. Koba tries to rile up the apes in coming together to go to war against the humans, but Caesar makes it clear that a war will only ruin what they've built so far. Many of the apes were tortured in labs by humans before Caesar freed them all, so they trust Caesar to do the right thing. Next day, Caesar gathers his apes and rides into the city on their horses to face the humans. Soon they reach the sanctuary where the humans are living. While still cautious of the danger that they might be in, Malcolm goes outside to talk to Caesar, who declares that the apes do not want war, but will fight back if they must. Blue Eyes returns Alex's bag to Malcolm, and Caesar warns the humans to never come near their home. After the apes leave, the humans start to panic about what they've just seen. Dreyfus addresses them about the situation. He says that they have nothing to fear against the apes. He reveals further that they're facing a shortage of energy, and the dam which is in the woods where the apes lives is the only answer to their survival. But he promises to find another way that will ensure their safety. Later, Malcolm speaks to Dreyfus and tells him that the dam is the only option for their survival. He tells Dreyfus that if he's given enough time, he can convince the apes to let them get to the dam and take out the blockage to generate power. Dreyfus agrees and gives Malcolm 3 days to complete this task, but if he fails, the humans will have no option but to go to war. Malcolm and his group travel back to the woods, but he decides to move forward alone to enter the sanctuary by himself. On his way to meet Caesar, Malcolm gets captured by a group of guerrillas who take him to Caesar. Malcolm explains that he means no harm and he only wants to get to the dam. The other apes believe he's lying, but Caesar decides to see what he's saying. Malcolm takes Caesar to the dam, and he explains how the dam is the only answer to the human survival. He then asks Caesar's permission to allow them to operate the dam for their use. Caesar allows Malcolm and his team to carry through with the task, but first he and the others must hand over their guns, which the apes later break apart. Koba approaches Caesar and expresses his distrust for humans, having been experimented on by humans, which has left multiple scars on his body. He fears that giving them access to the dam and energy will only make them stronger. Caesar believes that this could be a way to make peace with humans, or else war is inevitable. Koba disapproves of Caesar's idea, but he has no option but to agree as he's the leader. The humans set up a camp in the woods. One human, Foster, points out that the apes are much stronger than humans, and they don't need to rely on energy as much as humans do. Carver's still wary of the apes and blames them for the near extinction of humans due to the simian flu. Ellie reminds them of how the virus was created by humans and tested on apes, but Carver isn't one to listen and makes his hatred for apes known to his teammates. The next day, the apes keep an eye on every move of the humans. Caesar asks about Koba, who's nowhere to be found. Maurice tells him that Koba was still angry and was headed out for a hunt, but in reality, Koba was out in the city with 2 other apes. Koba still doesn't trust the humans, so he's out to monitor exactly what they're up to. He discovers that the humans have a huge supply of firearms which they could use against the apes. Upon seeing the weapons, Koba fears that the humans shouldn't be taken lightly. He then comes across 2 men with weapons. Koba pretends to be a playful chimp, dancing around and acting funny. The 2 men order him to leave, still seeing him as a threat. Koba leaves with a snarl on his face. Malcolm and his team begin to work in the dam to remove the blockage. They successfully blow it out, but Carver's leg gets wounded. They return to camp for Ellie to treat him, while some apes, including Caesar, come by. Caesar's baby son goes over to the humans. Ellie and Alex immediately take a liking to him, finding him adorable, but Carver is less welcoming. When the little ape comes over to a box containing a gun, Carver reacts on instinct and seizes the weapon, aiming it at the apes. Caesar takes the gun away from him and he's about to kill him with it, but Malcolm calms him down and Caesar throws the gun into the river. He then orders the humans to leave for breaking their trust and keeping a gun hidden from them. Malcolm and Ellie go to Caesar to ask for one more chance. They find Caesar looking after Cornelia, who hasn't fully recovered after giving birth. Ellie offers to aid her with their antibiotics. Out of fear of losing his wife, Caesar gives them 1 day to stay to help his wife. After gaining 1 day to fix all problems, Foster forcefully takes Carver back to the truck and locks him there. Malcolm and the rest return to the dam to finish their job. Koba comes back to see the apes working together with the humans. While looking for Caesar to warn him about the humans' weapons supply, he nearly attacks Alex and Malcolm, who get protected by Maurice. Koba angrily confronts Caesar and questions his affection towards humans. He asks if Caesar loves humans more than the apes. Enraged, Caesar attacks Koba, punching his face until he decides he cannot kill him. Koba extends his hand to Caesar for forgiveness, which Caesar accepts. The action of Caesar has brought down the atmosphere in the ape community, with not even his own son taking his side. Koba tells his friend to not tell Caesar about the weapons they found. Next day, he returns to the compound to find the same 2 men sharing a drink. He once again plays up the silly chimp act, entertaining the 2 men. After successfully managing to divert their attention, Koba grabs one of their guns and kills the 2 men. Koba and his friend return back with the guns and find Carver sitting in the van. Koba pulls him out through the window and beats him to death. Malcolm and his group have successfully reactivated the generator. Caesar guides Malcolm and the others to a higher level to show them the lights going up in the city. Cornelia has also gotten better. Everything seems well until Koba arrives with the rifle. Only Caesar sees him mere seconds before Koba shoots him. Caesar falls from the tree and Koba leaves the rifle with Carver's cap to make it look like it was him who shot Caesar. Koba's friends also light their homes on fire, which starts to cause panic among the apes. Blue Eyes finds the rifle which shot down Caesar. Maurice tells Malcolm, Ellie, and Alex to run as the other apes become frightened and wild. With Caesar gone, Koba convinces them all that the humans have killed Caesar and burned their home. He riles up all the apes to fight back against the humans. He rounds up all the males and charges into the city, as Malcolm and his family hide to save their lives. With the power back on, humans have started to celebrate by dancing and partying. Dreyfus looks at the pictures of his wife and 2 sons, who sadly lost their lives due to the virus, and breaks down into tears. He then goes to the control room where another man is trying to get in contact with other possible survivors through the radio. Suddenly, Koba and his army break into the armory and start their attack. They manage to take hold of all the weapons, and Koba hands a rifle to Blue Eyes. Dreyfus, along with other armed men, stand over the gates to fire at the apes, but before they could fire, the apes charge ahead with their weapons. Koba now leads a war which Caesar was against, due to the fear of putting his community at risk. Numerous apes get killed in the charge, as Blue Eyes desperately tries to save his own life. Despite the casualty, Koba doesn't retreat and advances forward with rifles on both of his hands. Dreyfus grabs a rocket launcher and manages to hit several targets, killing a few more apes. Koba gets his hand on a tank and charges with the apes through the gates and breaks down their wall. The apes start to take humans as prisoners, and Koba commands his followers to not let any of the humans escape. By daybreak, they have captured most of the humans. While catching the ones trying to escape, the apes run against a man swinging a post at the apes, which Koba grabs from him. He orders Ash to kill the man with it, but Ash shows mercy and says Caesar wouldn't want this. In response, Koba grabs Ash and drags him to a balcony and hurls him over to his death. Then, he, in front of Blue Eyes and the other apes, declares himself as the new leader. After capturing all the humans, Koba declares that they're now his prisoners and will know the life of living inside a cage. He commands his followers to find more humans and capture them all. Maurice, along with a few other apes, have been locked in a bus for not obeying Koba. Maurice tells Blue Eyes to protect himself. Meanwhile, Malcolm and his family find Caesar, who happens to be still alive. They take him away and he leads them to his old home where he was raised by humans. Ellie says they need to operate on Caesar, but her surgical kit is in the human camp, which has been captured by Koba. Malcolm believes Caesar's survival is crucial in stopping the war, so he decides to risk his life and goes back inside the human camp. He successfully gets hold of the surgical kit, but gets chased down by the apes. After narrowly managing to keep himself hidden, Malcolm comes across Blue Eyes holding a gun. Blue Eyes points his gun at Malcolm, but he can't bring himself to shoot him. Malcolm tells him that his father is still alive and leads him to Caesar. Blue Eyes sees the bullet wound and growls at the human, but Caesar tells him that it was Koba, not the humans. Blue Eyes tells his father that his mother and brother are safe now. He further tells him about what Koba has done so far since his disappearance. Blue Eyes cries as he tells his father what Koba did to his friend Ash. Caesar tells him that he will make everything right. Blue Eyes goes back and leaves a secret message to Maurice telling him that Caesar is alive. Maurice and the other trapped apes break free from their cage and break the humans out. They find Caesar and they tell them about Koba's plan to get the female apes and young ones to join him, including Cornelia and their newborn. Together, along with Malcolm, they head out to stop Koba. On their way in, Malcolm and the apes get shot at by the humans. Malcolm quickly helps the apes get into the human camp. Koba and his followers have gathered at the top of a tower, while Malcolm meets Dreyfus and sees that he plans to blow the tower with C4 explosives. Malcolm realizes that doing so will only make matters worse, so he draws the rifle to stop them and tries to convince them that Caesar will fix everything. Caesar finally comes face to face with Koba. Koba once again tries to rally the apes, claiming that Caesar shouldn't be trusted and he's their leader now. Caesar and Koba fight each other to decide who takes the leadership of the apes. Meanwhile, Dreyfus refuses to agree with Malcolm, saying if they don't kill the apes, the human race will go extinct. While the fight between Caesar and Koba continues, Dreyfus grabs the detonator and pushes the button, saying he's saving the human race. The explosion kills Dreyfus and the 2 other men, as well as the apes within the tower, but Malcolm manages to escape the blast. In between the chaos of explosion, Koba takes his gun back and starts to shoot at the apes. Caesar dives in and tackles Koba, knocking him off a ledge. As he hangs on for his life, he looks up at Caesar and says that an ape will not kill another ape, hoping Caesar will save him. Caesar pulls him as he looks at the damage he's caused. Then he tells Koba that he no longer is an ape, before letting him fall to his death. After Koba's death, Caesar takes back the leadership of the apes. Malcolm finds Caesar and warns him about the incoming military reinforcement that would threaten all the apes and start a war. But Caesar tells him that the war has already been started by the apes and that the humans will never forget it. He tells Malcolm to go and protect his own family. They both wanted the war to never begin, but now they realize it has gone too far to be able to stop. Caesar and Malcolm acknowledge their friendship before going their separate paths. Caesar at last reunites with his family, and the apes all bow down to him once again. Thanks so much for watching. Tell us your thoughts about the movie down below in the comments section. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and do watch some of our other videos as well. And before you leave, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more movie recaps.